Welcome back, Blue Ridge family. You to look there. You see that toboggan on her head? You know what that means? That means it's cold outside, and that also means that it's time for us to go hike. Now, as much as we want to go every weekend and hike somewhere, this weekend we just kind of had to make do a little bit with the situation we were in, which is Addison and softball. So tomorrow we're actually going to a tournament, UT Southern, and we're going to watch her play softball. But we decided, because it's cold enough and this is the kind of weather we like to camp in, because there ain't no snakes, there ain't no bugs, and it's just how we like to do it. We've come here to the Walls of Jericho trailhead. This is in Alabama, and it's funny, as we were driving down, it's about 30 miles north of Hollywood. Not that Hollywood, this Hollywood. And it's well, so far it's not too bad of a trailhead. There's actually two of them. There's goes to the same place. There's a trailhead in Tennessee, trailhead in Alabama. This one made the most sense for us to go in. It says it's about a 6 or 7 mile hike. There's some kind of conflicting information on it a little bit, but overall we're figuring about 8. So we're going to do things a little bit different with these videos. Usually I just kind of take pictures, take videos, put it together for everybody to see. I want to try to talk a little bit more, and I'm just going to try to do reviews of some of these places we go, something like a review, just to see how everybody likes it, give you an idea if you want to make the drive to get to these places. So let's head down the trail. So far so good.
Nature's Halloween decorations.
What else did you say?
I said if something jumped out of there, I'd be squealing.
I'd be squealing, but I can promise you, if she took off running, it's gonna be down that way, because that way's uphill. She don't do uphill real good, so.
Yeah, just wait till later.
Yeah, this is gonna be good, because we've already went about a mile downhill, and there's a lot of uphill to get back out of here, but it's gonna be worth it. So as you continue to wind down the hill, at this point you have lost about 1,000 foot in elevation. You're going to be about 2.3 miles in, you'll come to a fork in the trail. This fork in the trail is where the Tennessee trailhead and the Alabama trailhead intersect. Off to the right, you'll notice that there's going to be a campground down there. You can set up. There were some folks camping. To the left, you'll notice that the trail just winds down a very short distance. You'll cross over an ice bridge, and from this point the trail pretty much is just, you're halfway there, just kind of rolling hills and a nice leisurely stroll in the woods. So very, very enjoyable. As you continue hiking, you'll eventually come to an intersection of the South Rim Trail. We did not go down the South Rim Trail, however. There was a really, really nice campground here. That would a place that I'd really like to stay if we ever went back to there. To the right, you'll see a sign, 1/2 mile to the Walls of Jericho, so keep on hiking.
I don't know what kind of plant it is, but the pod popped open. It's like dangling the seeds out. Like you're eating.
Eat it.
No. I meant like an animal.
Well, you eat it first, and if you start feeling bad, then I won't. This was probably my favorite part of the whole hike. The last 1/2 mile in, the further you get, the more you start to notice the cliffs on each side. Pretty flat going in, a lot of roots and things like that, but nothing bad as long as you just pay attention. But really, this is the most beautiful part of the hike, all the way up to the actual Walls of Jericho. There wasn't as much water running as we had hoped for, but it was still really nice just to sit down by the creek and relax. The best part of the whole waterfall experience here is just up above these falls, but unfortunately there wasn't enough water for that. All right, we finally made it down here. So the hike in wasn't that bad, and it's overall the trails they're marked pretty well. Red blazes. It's not that bad of a hike in. Shannon, what do you think?
In was fine. In was okay.
So what about the out part?
I don't know, I'm worried.
Look at her. So she's grinning, but that's not a real grin. That's sad Shannon fixing to come out. So
I've been pre worried about this. I'm a little out of shape.
A lot of shape.
Just a little. We've had a large hiatus.
Yeah, it's been a while since we hiked, so we're both not in great shape, unless you count round as a shape, of course. And we didn't really cook anything or do anything. We just kind of sat down, hung out, enjoyed the scenery.
I took a nap.
Shannon tried to take a nap.
Well, I dozed off for a moment.
But overall, glad we could be out here. So we're going to get this thing started on the way back out, cross over the rocks, the roots, and climb some more, and climb some more, and climb some more after that. And then we're going to go eat. Surprise. That's what I always say in these videos, is go eat. So at the end of the video, we'll talk some more. We'll give our final thoughts, I guess you say, but let's get on up out of here. The walk back to where we started to have to climb out 1,200 feet, I think, elevation is what we ended up going out. It's quite a bit of a workout. You'll notice the sweat on my forehead and the pine needle stuck to it in just a moment. Nothing makes sad Shannon happier than a bench.
I've been looking for that bench.
Just out in the middle of the woods. We saw it coming in. She's been waiting for this moment. Sit down, get a drink. How was the climb so far?
It wasn't as bad as I had in my head.
I kept telling her we were almost finished.
Lies.
It ain't that bad.
It's not as bad as some we're doing.
We're gonna get a drink. Once we got a drink, we finished the hike out. Wasn't that bad of a hike. Did get to see a squirrel on the side of the trail, so that was pretty interesting to watch it mill around. All right, we finished the hike. We've got something to eat. We are at the place we're sleeping at for the night, and I want to talk about the hike. So first, we're going to talk to Shannon. First question: what did you think this hike was going to be before we went on it? What were your first impressions reading the reviews? She's a review reader. If there's a review to be read, she's going to read it, and she's going to get all twisted up in a knot because of what people say.
First, when I make the plans, I have read the reviews and weeded out all of the people who tend to leave bad reviews.
All the people that ain't got no sense and just say crazy stuff. That's what she's trying to say.
So, but I didn't get to do that because he got this together.
That's what I'm talking about.
And every time he gets it together, it's different. So, I did read a few reviews, but I read them at 2 o'clock in the morning because I woke up. And everybody was talking about how horrible it was, and I just knew I was going to die like 3 times because I'm out of shape. So, did I die? No, not even once. Was it as bad as I thought it was going to be? No, it was not. Was I still breathing kind of hard on the way back up? Yes. Yes, I was. There are a couple benches. I sat on one. I was wanting one of them. I was waiting for it. And I had to sit down. So.
And I read a few of the reviews, and I thought people were ridiculous because I tend to think people are ridiculous more than the average person. And I knew it was a little bit uphill, but you can look on the map and clearly see if you've hiked at all, it ain't that bad. But I will say this, it ain't that bad either.
But it's still pretty bad.
It is, but it's downhill all the way till you get there, pretty much. Very, very little uphill.
It was uphill both ways.
No, it wasn't no uphill both ways. On the way back out, if you just take your time and go with it, it ain't that bad. So, here's the next thing, number 2. How technical was the trail? Because she hates technical trails. She's not one of these that likes to walk on rocks and stuff. So this is probably the more important thing, I think, for you all to understand, rather than going up. Anybody can go uphill, downhill. So technical trail, what do you think about it?
The vast majority of it was okay. There were some areas with lots of roots, which I stumble a lot because I want to see everything else and I don't want to look down, so I trip. And I've broken three
Trekking pole?
Yeah.
That's why we have a Garmin InReach Mini 2, because I don't want to haul her out the woods so I can smash a button if she trips, falls, and breaks something.
It's bad.
All right.
Wait. So it wasn't terrible, but there were a few places.
There really are some
so
places.
You have to pay attention.
That's the thing. It's not that it's that difficult going up and down, but you have to pay attention to where you step, because if you step wrong, you're going to fall and hurt something. That's the important part.
If it were wet,
yeah,
it would be very slippery.
Now you will see in some of the reviews on all trails, some of the other places, it was not wet at all. We'll talk about that in a second. If it's wet, it's going to be slick. There's a lot of roots. There's a lot of slick looking rocks. So not that bad for us. Probably not that bad during the fall, late summer. I would imagine it'll get bad here before long. So what about the views? I'm going to go first on this. I like being in the woods. I can walk through the middle of the woods and it don't bother me a bit. I just like being in the woods and walking and doing whatever. But there's not a whole lot to see as you're walking to get there. But once you get there, the payoff is nice. The bad part is you got to come back out of there. That's the worst part. So overall, I would say out of 10, I would give it a 6 out of 10. I'm not saying I wouldn't go back. I'm just saying it ain't my favorite and I wouldn't be chomping at the bit to go back. But if somebody that I knew wanted to go, or I would recommend it to somebody, I would go again. What do you give it?
I'm a fan of views or water. Waterfalls, creeks, whatever. None of that was there. Could it be during rainy season? Yes. So would I go back without it having rained? There's too much work to nothing. No payoff.
So overall, glad we went. That's why we actually picked somewhere different. It was convenient because we were going to be down here anyways for softball, like I said already. So overall, I hope you liked the video. I hope it's informative, and that's the goal of it, is to give you all something to actually look at rather than a review, to actually see the trails.
I have one more thing.
What is it?
Ladies, I'm saying ladies, maybe the guys care too, but when I look at a trail, I always check to see if there's a restroom at the trailhead. There is, but it's not a flushing toilet restroom. It is a porta potty, and it wasn't terribly gross, but it was cold this morning, so maybe it wasn't. But I just think that's very important for people to know. So if you need to stop at a gas station before you get there.
There's trees in the woods, for me anyways. She's got one of them things to pee in the woods with, but she won't use it. Anyways, one last thing for me. We got there at 9 o'clock, I think. 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. 3 or 4 cars in the parking lot. As we hiked in, we saw a few people coming out. When we got there, there was one other person. We stayed there for about 30 minutes, and there were 40 other people. And we passed another 40 people coming in. So it's one of those places that, and today, it's one of those places that people visit. It's a very popular place. Today was a fantastic day to hike. It was mid-40s, upper 40s that morning. Got up nice and warm. It was the perfect day to hike. Maybe that's why people were out there. But anyways, appreciate you all joining the hike with us today. Appreciate you all tuning in. So till next time, we'll catch you later.